Hey guys, my name is Deji. If you're just joining for the first time, welcome. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Deji Reacts, and I basically react to, political news, political, you know, developments in Nigeria, social issues as well. I haven't done a social, related video yet. I think I'll find a video. If you guys know anyone you would like me to react to, please recommend it and I will do just that. It's still a small community, but we are growing really fast, and I do hope that you guys would support and like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that it can reach more people. Today we're going to be reacting to another video, and this is also still talking around the national coalition of the ADC that is seeking to challenge President Bola Tinubu in the next election. Now, the guest today is Hakeem Baba-Ahmed. If you're new and you don't know who Hakeem Baba-Ahmed is in Nigerian politics, then I can just try to give an overview or like a brief, you know, just explain um, what he's about. So Hakeem Baba-Ahmed, at some point, I think even before the 2023 election, was like a very elder stater. He's an elder statesman who used to speak for the Arewa Consultative Forum. And I stand to be corrected, either Arewa Consultative Forum or the I think the Arewa leaders or something, a northern socio-political group in Nigeria, and very big voice, by the way. Yeah, he's also a very strong critic, or he was a strong critic of the Buhari administration in the last administration, and he tried to sort of be kind of neutral in this last election, but for those who know, his younger brother was the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the last election. But interestingly, some people were actually surprised to see that he had taken an appointment with this particular administration at the start of this administration. But sometime last year, he resigned from that position, saying that he wasn't doing anything. He had no audience with the president. He was more or less like basically stuck. Like there was nothing. He didn't feel fulfilled, and he had to leave. And he after that, he has granted so many interviews to say that with his own experience in this current administration, he does not think they're actually ready to do anything. um, there was recently, he also called, obviously, he's also sympathetic to the coalition. However, he's a bit, at least to my own understanding, he feels that the coalition is not doing some things right. And, you know, I mean, he's an opposition politician at the moment, and he hopes that, there's still some sort of way they can work with the coalition. But without further ado, I think it is time to, sort of listen to what he has to say, and we'll see. We'll see.
And I don't know whether or not Peter Obi has some things to learn from Nyesom Wike about party primaries, especially having to go head to head with Atiku Abubakar.
So there's nothing Peter Obi needs to learn from Wiki, because think about it. If I mean, you would learn from something that actually worked, right? So I don't know what exactly Peter Obi needs to learn from Wiki if Wiki himself did not actually show that that particular method works. Now, for those who may be wondering, what is he referring to? So recently, I think sometime last year, Dele Momodu had come out to say during the prime PDP primaries in the last election, Wike allegedly spent over $20,000 on each delegate, so that they can basically vote for him. But obviously, we know the end result of that particular primary is he lost. And some people have felt that, I mean, if someone can spend 20,000 up over $20,000 on delegates and still lost, then how much did the winner spend? But this I mean, at the end of the day, Atiku has always carried that sort of, let me just call it a baggage, where people are suspicious of him. They feel like there's this particular dexterity he uses to win at party primaries. And the man is very confident, because I remember in 2022 when he was asked whether he was going to win the primaries or not, he was so boastful to say he's going to win. But I mean, is he supposed to say he's going to lose? So yeah, let's see. I don't think there's anything Peter Obi needs to learn from Wike. If it's about paying delegates, that that I mean, I, I would not even advise it. But at the end of the day, I guess this is where everyone then needs to come and sit at the table to say that some people would not, you know, try to play fair, whilst others would then seek to basically mess up the process. And that is literally what is causing distrust in the ADC right now. But we'll get to that. Let's hear what Baba-Ahmed has to say.
That man seems to have a master stroke in winning
Are
party
you talking
primaries.
about Weekend or
Atiku
Obi?
Abubakar. And I'm saying whether or not Peter Obi needs to learn something from Yenson Wike. Sometimes when you lose, you have a lot of wisdom to share
Sure.
in your loss. And I'm saying that for those who think
Yes, you maybe advise the next person to spend more. Because I don't know what lessons Mr. Wike wants to come and share like this. Is At the end of the day, it's just to advise PO to spend more than he did allegedly. Anyway.
Peter Obi, the only reason why Peter Obi will be in the ADC is because he's going to be the flag bearer of the ADC. And people are forgetting that there's a Rotimi Amechi in the ADC.
I mean, so this is one of the leading, or the hottest topic online amongst the supporters of, Atiku, Obi, a few supporters of the Amichis that I've also seen. So let's put it this way: some people who are in the coalition or the ADC feel like, obedience. They feel entitled, right, to the um, to the ticket. They feel like obedience are asking for the ticket without necessarily playing the politics that it requires. But can you blame them? These are individuals who, against all odds, literally pulled 6 million rabbits from the hat in the last election, right? They they did the hard work. Nobody gave them the chance. Nobody gave them like the slightest chance that they were going to even get over 200,000 votes, right? But in that energy, in that drive, they were able to win 12 states, or well, 11 states and the FCT, right? That is massive. They were able to, win Lagos State, the home state of the current president. That is also crazy, right? So this result, obviously, I mean, if you ask the regular obedient, they would say that they won the election, and you know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's very debatable. But yes, it's very difficult not to, want to sort of capitalize and show that you are, you know, you are actually you are worth your salt, right? And yeah, you can't blame them really. But obviously, some people still feel like even if you are actually a good prospect, right? Because let's not forget, obedience continuously and always says that PO is the best candidate. PO is, is the one who has that sort of, at least age still on his side. He has that sort of strength, energy to go to places to make sure that he supervises jobs and all of that. So, you know, and obviously they also feel like he's the best candidate amongst the mix. Now, the thing is, you can't also blame those who are saying you have to play the politics, you have to, you know, negotiate, be part of negotiate, like speak to people, try to win delegates, try to win, you can't blame them as well because at the end of the day, like our president famously said, power is not served a la carte. You have to actually do the grind, get, you know, tie the bootstrap, make sure that because the people you are speaking to now are not necessarily, you know, regular Nigerians. You're speaking to politicians, and every politician has some form of interest they pursue. So how can you sort of speak to that interest to make sure that you give them what they want whilst you also get what you want? And in this comes some compromise, and you know I think the audience are not ready to do that. But I mean, it's not for me to say. The point is, like Sheon said, they won the ticket, right? They won the ticket. And this back and forth has been going on for quite a while. In fact, Atiku Abubakar had to release a statement sometime last 3 weeks thereabout to say that nobody is going to step down for anybody, right? So anybody that wants to win the ticket would have to be ready to come to the primaries to contest. So that has been the major sticky point in the coalition. So let's listen to that to Hakeem Baba-Ahmed.
See, yes. People should ask Bola Tinubu who Rotimi Amechi is when he ran against him for the ticket of the party. Yeah. And perhaps you should go and ask.
Yes. So Rotimi Amechi obviously is also one of the leading coalition leaders, like one of the leading guys in the coalition, and he also has an ambition. He recently also made a statement that he is not running to be anybody's VP, right? He is not running to be anybody's VP. PO has also made that same statement to say that he is not traveling all across the world, going to different places, trying to learn from different past leaders of other countries, ex-presidents who are famous for, one or two things that they've done in office. He's not going across the world, to do all of this just to settle for a vice presidential candidate, right? Uh, so Amici has said that, PO has said that, Atiku has also said nobody is going to step down for anybody. So this this is clearly going to be a showdown. The primaries of the ADC is going to be like a mini general election. I promise you. You don't want to miss it. So we'll see the intrigue. There are still a lot of things unfolding, obviously. But yeah.
Ask Ian Wike the kind of dramatic political game Atiku played against him in the PDP 2023 political primary. That's what I'm saying. It looks very dicey, isn't it? But it looks like they are very strong candidate that could be the flag bearer.
I think almost certainly, and I'm guessing now, if ADC goes to convention, and it almost certainly will, and it will only because that's what Vice President Atiku wants, he will get the ticket. And then a lot of people will walk out because a lot
So I mean, again, I get the sentiment that Atiku knows how to win party primaries, but you know, I don't think I personally don't think is um it cannot be defeated. Honestly, I don't think it cannot be defeated. I would also say that he has an head start. To be honest, I think he has an head start simply because he went into that party much early on. Well, maybe not him physically, but at the time, a lot of his supporters definitely went into the party. Like his supporters had absolutely no doubt that it was going to end up in the ADC, and they moved in, en masse in their numbers rather, and sort of registered and started playing the politics there. On the other hand, you have PO, who obviously did not move into the party officially until the 31st of last year, 31st December of last year, right? And even till now, we still have some Obidians who are still a little bit skeptical about the ADC, to be honest. And some of them have decided that they were not still going to join the party, despite the fact that Obi had gone. But it should be said, a lot of them are also trying to mobilize to get people to go into the party, to register, and all of that. Um, the registration issues would is topic for another day, but there's been a serious move by the obedience to moving. So, if they are able to sustain this registration and get as many people in as possible, then the pressure should then be primaries. How would the primaries be structured? Would it be direct, indirect, or consensus? Right. So there's still a chance. There's still a chance, especially if you know um, these these people that I know that are they are very very driven, can move into that party and basically fight for the ticket. And yeah, I personally don't think Atiku is undefeatable, because there's actually evidence to show that a more popular candidate has won him before. Regardless of however you feel, whether you feel he dollarizes primaries or he doesn't, he has lost primaries before. So, um, yeah, I think since 1999, the only time, how many times has Atiku been presidential candidate? Just three times, I think. First time with the ACN, whether it was ACN or AC, right? The Obviously the more recent one was the 2019 with PDP and the 2023 with PDP. So these are just three times since we started this. And article has always had interest in running for elections. So one way or the other, I don't think is somebody that cannot be defeated. I genuinely don't think so. But yeah, but I mean that Baba Ahmed obviously seemed to think he would. So I mean,
of people are in that party only for the same thing. They want the ticket. So then ADC will have its own problems. But
so sorry guys, sorry. I would let off watch, but I'm just thinking like this is not new, right? Every single time there's been presidential elections, we've had parties who would have like numerous, aspirants who aspire to be president and eventually do their elections. Somebody wins and the party moves on. So why do people think that this will be different, a different case for the ADC? Right? Because let's not forget, it's now, right now as we speak, it is APC on one side and ADC on the other. The PDP and the LP are not necessarily like big threats as of right now. So, you know, the alternative of the ADC would obviously be, these politicians going back to APC, or who knows, maybe they would also decide to try their luck in LP or PDP or whatever. But I feel like the ADC is actually very is is the party to beat in 2027. So yeah, I mean, yes, there's a chance that people would leave. People are leaving right now, but there's also a chance that people would also join because uh, as a result of of the um, primaries, whatever the outcome is, some supporters will be lost. I think some supporters will also be gained. It's just again, it's just messaging and how ADC make sure that there's a level playing field and they sort of try their best to mitigate against any form of malpractice or whatever.
You raised the issue about the similarity and the weaker experience and what Peter Obi needs to understand. One of the reasons I think Peter Obi is saying, hey, listen, look at me. This is Peter Obi. I'm not here for number two. I'm not here for convention. I'm here to fly the flag. And he's getting people who are saying to him initially in whispers and politely, and now they're saying to him, listen, join the queue. You know?
I mean, that's eventually what was going to happen. There was absolutely no way that these guys would just, simply sit back and say, okay, take, right? Even if eventually happens, it would be because of, serious negotiations and serious conversations amongst these guys. And that's why I feel like, a consensus ticket would be very difficult in this situation because, man, think about it. You've got an Atiku who has always wanted to, get to that presidential seat, and who may even believe that this 2027 may be his last chance. I mean, he may also think that this 2027 is his best chance. So he has to first of all decide that okay, he's gonna put all that aside and support somebody else. We also had PO who believes strongly that is still the son of the South. He believes that he is good, he is better than every other person. He believes that you know he has the support, he has the youth who make up a large chunk of the voter, and he believes that he is able to inspire the youth to um to come out to vote. And we also had Amechi, who obviously is no small beans. He was the second in the APC primaries against Tinubu, right? So this guy also has a lot of clout where he's coming from. So these people they are not lightweights. They are not lightweight politicians. So it will be very interesting, right, to see how the pendulum shifts. Honestly, it will be very, very interesting. But yeah, I didn't, or I have never actually thought that it was just going to be as easy as, give me. Yeah, it's my turn.
You're the only one with ambition here. Look around you in this room. There are one or two people who have been here from day one, and they're sitting there waiting. And you're walking here and saying, Peter Obi doesn't do conventions, or he just goes there to be anointed.
I
So
don't know what.
ADC will bleed after its convention because almost certainly.
Well, see, yeah, ADC will bleed after its convention. Maybe or maybe not, right? This is actually a very serious issue. Let's not kid ourselves. It is a very serious issue. This can actually mark whether Tinubu is going to be a second term president or a one term president. And I feel like all of these weight of responsibility lies on the shoulders of the party leaders, honestly. They've said time and time again that they are trying to do things differently, and I'm sorry, this is the is is the test, and how they are able to carry out this particular um, primary would actually determine if they themselves are serious to govern, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, if they manage to make a mess of it, I think Nigerians would even just ignore them. They will ignore them. It doesn't matter who wins. It has to be seen that every candidate or every aspirant got a fair chance. Yeah.
Vice President Atiku will get the ticket.
And when it does,
And when he does, some people would walk out because
the party might crumble.
It will be severely damaged.
I disagree. I disagree. It will not be this severely damaged. Some people might walk out, which is understandable, but you know, this is where the elders in the party would then play a role. But all of that cannot happen if the ADC does not make the primaries a free and fair one. I think that is the key point here. The primary has to be seen that it's transparent and it is free and fair. Anything outside of that will be very difficult for the aggrieved losers or the people who lost out on the ticket to reconcile. We even till now, Wike is still crying. You know, um, so yeah, the party must do everything they can to make sure that this actually works out in the favor of everybody. It's only going to be one winner, but I mean, just do what you need to do right and let other things fall into place themselves. Yes, that is the end of this video. It seems to be a very long one, so if you made it this far, you are the real one. You are a real G. My G. My G. My G. My G. So yes, thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for the support. Please like, share, and subscribe. And please, I'm trying to grow this page to 100 subscribers in the next 3 months. So by the first quarter of 2026, I want to hit 100 subscribers. Yes, it is doable, and I hope that you know I achieve it. So please, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.